Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and it's Brick Hall o'clock yet again with another couple of packages from bricklink.com. Whoop whoop! Now I always look forward to opening new packages, but today I'm really looking forward to these because I know inside are some pretty vintage pieces for some really interesting builds that I've got coming up. And these are some of the very vital parts to finish those builds off. Now the first order was actually a bit of a new experience for me in the sense that there was a lot limit, which means the number of different types of pieces that you can buy from a particular store is limited. So I was really unable to fill my boots as usual. And it was a bit of a novel experience of being very measured and very calculated and very targeted in what I needed, which is very alien to me indeed. But it makes it a very sort of small and efficient order nonetheless. Now, one of the things I'm going to have to leap straight forward to is one of the reasons for selecting this store, and it is this train cabin piece, which actually didn't just come on trains, actually. It was also part of 60010 Fire Helicopter from 2013, where I think it works really well, actually, as the front of a rather heavy copter. Now, I didn't really want it for its red cabin. I wanted it for the glass inside, which is quite a hard bit to get in trans light blue. Let's see if I can heave it out. That's what I wanted, and since the whole thing was about 40 pence, I thought, yeah, that's no problem at all, and I think I'll use that somewhere else in the future maybe. But this is what I wanted because I really wanted to finish one of the small builds I've been doing recently. Well, this won't finish it actually, but it will certainly help. Yep, it's the really cool Diddy little sort of Arctic rover, I suppose you'd call it, from the 60064 Arctic supply plane set from 2014. Now, this is just one of many sort of side builds that I'm sort of collecting for at the moment, but it's definitely a cool one, and as you can see, it's sort of missing its plough on the front, and that bit shouldn't be tan. I've actually run out of 1x6s in dark grey, would you believe? But that was probably the hardest bit outstanding. Oh, that looks so good. I just love driving this thing around my desk as well. It's really, really good fun. When I got the other parts, I bought deliberately too many of these orange cabinets so I could kind of have some on the back being delivered as well. But yeah, that is really good fun. So once I get the plough and that plate, I'll have that done for the Arctic scene that, well, is probably way, way, way off. But somebody did suggest that I could have this being sort of delivered on the back of my cargo train, which isn't a bad idea. But I think when I do the Arctic scene, forever and a day away probably, I will want to pinch it back, I think, because it's just too cute and too cool. I really like that. So hard to get. The stickered part was the hardest. And as you can see, I've moved those stickers from 2 hauls ago using my patented hot tea technique. Yes, and very successful it was too. So that is great. So I'm really glad to have that part, so that can trundle off. I'm going to keep that on my desk and drive it around for a while yet. How sad am I? And here was the real prize part that I really, really wanted. This is kind of a battlements piece, but in white. Usually it's in grey of some description, or even black actually, but I really wanted it in white, such as in 6266 Cannon Cove from 1993, which is a pirate set obviously, so I could make, well, a little fort. Now, you'll know I've got a big Eldorado fortress guarding my harbour, basically, of Brit Nottingham, where I thought I'd do a very small sort of complementary fort on the other side, and therefore I really wanted to do one very much like that Cannon Cove set. So this piece was vital, and that's what I'm going to sort of build into the rocks alongside a Coast Guard station and stuff that will finish off all the cliffs on the other side, which has been undone for absolutely ages, and I really need to improve that area because it's the most ugly bit of my city, I think, so far, or rather outstanding still. So yeah, that is a really useful part. It's in absolutely great condition. I don't think it's discoloured at all. It might have been actually from a more recent set, like I think it was actually part of a set from the Lego Movie 2, so that would make it pretty much brand new. But that is great. Yeah, so I need to get the coast guard and this little fortlet done, so then I can do the cliffs, and only then, when I've done all of that, can I actually do the cargo area, you see. So the reason why it was delayed for so long was because you kind of had to do one thing before another, before another, before another. So this is going to help me start off that whole project. And before I finish off the rest of that bag, I'm just going to cut into this. These look new, I think, because I also need these really big blue plates as well to do that fortlet area, because I'm actually going to expand over the edge of the lip of that table. As soon as you come into the Lego room and you're sort of seeing the double bridges with the cargo area sort of on your right, I'm going to have a little bit more, a sort of sliver more water that's going to be on regular plates, kind of hanging off the edge of my tables to sort of accommodate the fortlet and the Coast Guard station. So getting these really big 8x16s was vital as well. So actually they're not new, I don't know, if they're not, they're very nearly new. Yeah, so this was a great order already just for these 3 pieces. So essentially when the part limit of 20 was imposed on me, I grudgingly still accepted. So another thing that they had, which is really good, were these vine pieces, which are usually used as part of friend sets, and they're a little bit twee for city, but I think they'll be great under the water. Sort of a sea kelp or whatever, you just have loads of those, and maybe a sort of shark sort of swimming through them or something like that very slowly. I think that'll look really good. So that's good. Another good piece is that you had loads of these sort of railway logo stickered pieces that are from the, well, my original train, the 60051 high-speed passenger train from 2014. And that's the first set that I bought to start off this whole channel and journey. If I'd known then when I bought that train set that it would end up being the room full of Lego it is, I might might have made a different choice, who knows. But that's all in ancient history now. And I got these 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 logos, so I could make another really interesting passenger carriage for that train and make it even longer, because I just can't help myself. So yeah, this really was a great store. Then we've got some more good stuff. These are the windows from the Heart Lake Grand Hotel 41101. They've got this really nice logo on. You can kind of see that. Now, I was buying these to basically make something else that needed big windows, but essentially the more of these I get, I really quite like the ornate look. And although these ones are very unstraight and very unscented, and transparent large stickers are the hardest ones to move, I may actually end up using them in place, or moved in place. I'm not entirely certain yet, or I may just get rid of them all and just use the pieces as originally intended. So yeah, anyway, I have to think about that one. I guess it will be how well they move, because, well, I just don't think they'll look as good. Then we've had these pieces before, Bionicle kind of flame sword pieces, but I've probably got enough in red now, but I haven't got that many in blue. So when I see them in this sort of medium blue, I'm still getting them because I think they look really nice as bits of wavy plant, again, under the sea. Looking great. Some green curved slopes to hide some cables in my fairground. Need those. Red bits for my another mini build that I'm trying to build at the moment, which is the bulldozer from the 60140 bulldozer break-in set from 2017. There's a few more pieces. Yes, here we are for that. One of the tracks. Weirdly, I was 1 track short, so that will be similarly tracked to the Arctic vehicle we just did there. Some regular bricks. These are for that as well. Now these colourful plates and these ones are for a new train carriage that I'm attempting, which is actually inspired by a request from somebody sending in a set. You know who you are. I'm trying to make that work, that challenge you set me. So yeah, these will be parts to make that bright and colourful, as it will have to be. And then the last part of any note in here is this wonderful Bionicle part, which is this sort of almost sort of head plate, I suppose, which is from the set 8918 Caraper from 2007, who is a Baraki, apparently, or in my mind, a bitey monster, because, I mean, golly, that face is absolutely vicious. But there's lots of holes kind of along the centre line of this head plate to put sort of spikes in, and you can put eyes in the front there and teeth hanging off it, and goodness knows what. And again, I thought it looked quite organic, so maybe I can make some sort of horrible deep sea creature, and it's kind of just based on that with a couple of fins coming off it or something like that, maybe a tail fin kind of coming out the back. I mean, you can almost picture that already, can't you? Imagine there's a little tail on there or something. And then, yeah, that's not very good. But anyway, you get the idea. Eyes on the front and great big teeth, and maybe a bit of a sort of lower jaw part there or something like that, sort of swimming along. Anyway, I just thought it was a really organic and wonderful shape. You could almost have it as a sort of squid or something like that as well, with tentacles all coming down here, couldn't you? It just looks so versatile. I thought I had to get it. So, yeah, really nice. And a nice colour as well, because it's not a conventional colour. It's kind of a mix of bright yellowish orange and, I don't know, trans brown. So anyway, yeah, really good. I wonder how that looks under UV light as well. And then just because he had an absolute loads of inverted slopes. So yeah, a really good small targeted haul there package for the package number 1, with loads and loads of really vital parts for vital upcoming projects. So without further ado, let's move on to the second one, which should have, in many cases, very similar parts, or rather not the actual same parts, but parts for similar projects. Get rid of all of those bits of packaging. Right, boring bits first. Got more burps because I think I'm going to need an absolute load. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to use it like some people do, where they just have them in absolute rows like this, and it just looks incredibly repetitious or whatever, and it doesn't look very natural at all. I like to use them both ways round, so you've got caves and all different heights, and then blend them in with so many other bricks that you really won't be able to see that they're burps. But they do help for structure, and just because they take up a lot of space, so I think they are quite valuable. So I'm going to put those all along the back there. Then what else have we got? Another vital part for my version of Cannon Cove. Now, the original Cannon Cove has these sort of corner panel pieces in white, and the most important one's this one with the kind of brick showing, and I'm really glad to see that this is in great condition, even though it's yellow, because yeah, the original one in white with these bricks showing is, well, it's incredibly expensive and rare now. So I kind of looked for that and just wasn't getting anywhere, and I didn't really want to spend like £10 on one part or something like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. So a quick colour change, that's always the way to do it. If you've got a design that you want to do and you can't because of cost, then just switch around the colours, and then you'll find it's a lot easier and a lot cheaper to do and look practically the same. So I've managed to get one plain one for kind of the boring side, and one yellow one for the more interesting side, and then we can have our very own Cannon Cove kind of built into our cliffs on the right hand side of Brick Bay. So I think that'll be really nice. And weirdly, the non-pattern one's a bit more grubby, but I think that'll probably clean up as well, to be honest. But yeah, that looks absolutely great. So that was the really vital part from this cellar, and then the rest again was trying to make best use of an order when you've already found the place. So a few mini piggers. Did I say mini piggers there? I meant mini figures, by the way. But here we go. This one is new to me. He was quite cheap. He's cunningly called Robot Sidekick. I mean, it's a bit of a sad name, really. When you're so unimportant, all you are called is Robot Sidekick. But he is from Galaxy Squad and was in 2 sets, including the 70703 Star Slicer from 2013, which is a pretty cool, huge sort of mantis creature. And the Sidekick has got a rather impressive gun, actually, so I might even replicate that large gun for when I use him. And I don't really know where I'm going to use him, but I did figure that there'd be a couple of sort of robots in my Alien Cantina, which I haven't even started even thinking about seriously yet. But yeah, I like him. He's a nice different minifigure. Another Alien minifigure for the same sort of idea is this one from Life on Mars. And he's very different, isn't he? Is that hinged, that head? Yeah, it is hinged. So, and he's got sort of ginger hair, I suppose, and big eyes. I mean, he's like a giant amphibian creature, isn't he? Kind of like a frog. He's called Altair, apparently, and he comes in 7311, Red Planet Cruiser from 2001. And I just liked him because he's kind of got different shapes and different coloured body parts, really. So I thought he was quite interesting. an early use of that turquoise colour that's becoming a lot more familiar nowadays. But yeah, so he's a good alien, different shape, because all different body shapes will be catered for in the cantina. Oh golly, what should we do next? This one's more boring, but I'll just plough through it. Yep, loads and loads of tan bricks. Now these are for a very interesting and important build for underneath the sea. But I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be, but it's going to be very interesting. Can't remember what they're for. Probably some sort of digger or something. I was probably missing some pieces. I can't remember. This bag looks quite interesting. Going to make sure I tip these actually in shot. There we go. So we've got some aerials. I was just running out of those. I think I'm going to use those on the Coast Guard station. And I've got loads of these mop heads in bright green, because I'm going to use those for plants that way round rather than that way round, which I think is how they're used in the only set they've come in, which was 80106, Story of Nyan, where they're sort of there next to the wall. And I don't quite get what they're supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be plants as well. But anyway, I think they look better as underwater plants because they kind of look like they're swaying in the breeze. And the fact that I've got, what, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9 of them will make a really good patch, or maybe even 2 patches of them. Lots of these, also for under the sea in bright colours. Is that patterned? No, don't know why I got that. One of those, but maybe it was cheap. Another sort of arm there. Bag of very interesting looking parts here. Ooh, just throw some around. So I've got some heads, plain heads, but these ones are glow in the dark. So they're just going to basically make some builds for underwater a bit more interesting. Talking of interesting, check that out. It's one of the new Ninjago shields from the kind of, well, I guess it's a new take on the Islanders, isn't it? From sets like 71748, Catamaran Sea Battle from 2021. But I just thought, clearly that sea monster there looks like Godzilla. And I really like Godzilla. So yeah, I thought I had to have one of those, but I don't know exactly how I'm going to use it. But it's a really interesting colour. I like it a lot, actually. Then a couple of emojis, which I can't tell you where I'm going to use them because it's a secret project. But we've got a tears one, a tears of laughter one, and another tears one, because it's going to be double-sided because they're going on a sign. What the sign is for, I can't tell you, but you'll definitely love it. It's been a long time coming as well, to be honest. And there's a couple of heads. I think we've got some more coming, but those are from Jack David's character in the Hidden Side. So that's that bag. Next bag, the door for our Coast Guard station. Some bits of seawall for around our Coast Guard station. And I might make that my new project. This fortlet and the Coast Guard station and those cliffs might be the next sort of big build that we do, having finished the supermarket. I do still need to place that, of course, in the city. But yeah, give me a shout if you think that's a great idea. A couple of plates. Because I've got some ships coming up as well. So this is a windscreen for one of those ships. I always think of this as coming from the ferry set, 60119 from 2016. And then the rest of this bag is some bright bits for under the sea and some ordinary plates and so on. So nothing that crazy interesting. I do always seem to run out of these slide pieces. I don't tend to use them a lot. These are to add to a couple of fire engines that had some really sun-damaged ones. This looks like a relatively important but uninteresting bag of plates of all different shapes and sizes. Yep. And these green ones. Can't remember what the green slides were for now, but they were for something very vital as well. Not the fort, no, not the Coast Guard. No, can't remember that, but we've got them covered now. Lots of aerials, lots of joint pieces, lots of... now these are very interesting. So these are those sort of kind of ball joint pieces that can be used in ball joint type builds, you know, when you've got sockets and so on. But also as sort of, I always think of them as radar domes on the top of buildings and stuff like that. But these ones are actually, I've got quite a few of them in here, about 5 or so, are actually glow in the dark colour, which makes them even more interesting. So that means they're probably going to have to go under the sea. But yeah, I didn't really know that they came in that. Though having looked at them in the catalogue, I realise I actually do have one already, which was part of the 41688 Magical Caravan set that I was gifted on a relatively recent haul. That's from 2021 as well. But I haven't gone through that if I'm completely honest, all the way through in great detail yet, so I really must get round to that. My list of projects is absolutely endless as usual. So I'm just going to grab my ultraviolet torch and show you that they are glowing a right rosy colour there. Wow, look at those. Absolutely powerfully glow in the dark. So yeah, they're going to look great under the sea. And there's the heads as well. You're probably seeing those threads as well. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. They have to be used very well there. Then I've got a huge bag of probably the most useful thing for doing rock sculpting, like I was talking about earlier, which is the corner brick. Very cheap, very underrated, but it just adds so much texture and strength to a build like this, and you can just start, you know, adding them together very quickly and very easily. So I've got an absolute mound of those, a couple of pennies each. And then finally, but definitely not the least significant, is this huge bag of wonderful minifigure parts. I'm just going to tip this right in the middle and go through all of those. We've got another brain coral, which is actually the back of Patty's head from the Simpsons Series 2. So that's going to go kind of like that and be underneath the sea. I've got a few of those already, but it just looks absolutely great. So I'll probably have to disguise the front so you can't sort of look round a corner and see a Simpsons face, because that really wouldn't work, would it? We've got a really good sign, just needs moving a little bit, but I really like that. The car driving off the quayside. So I'm going to need one of those warning signs near my Coast Guard station as well, so no one drives into Brick Bay. And that is from 60213, Dockside Fire from 2019. We've got the Elephant Girls kind of tutu, pink tutu. I don't really know where I'm going to use that. I used the first one, I think, on my stag in my stag party, or bachelor party, whatever you call those. Big one, another one of those things I'm going to be using as a firework. Probably the last one now. I just keep buying them. I think I put that in before I decided to stop buying them. An SSP kind of jacket for the super secret police. Yep, can't beat the sound effects. The legs for a very rare minifigure that I'm trying to sort of complete bit by bit because I can't find one in its entirety. So it's the Mad Scientist legs from 1382, Scary Laboratory from 2002. I've got the head, got the hair, and now I've got the legs. So all I need is the torso now, and I'm there. Yeah, it's a hard way of getting it, but nonetheless. I keep buying Mohican hair for either Under the Sea or just a huge biker gang. Haven't decided yet. So this is the red one from the Series 17 Battle Dwarf. We've got, what, 2 of those. A couple of the black hair Mohican, which is a lot more common. And one of the dark blue ones, which I'm not sure I've even had before. And that's from the character Mime from the Lego Batman movie. Just drop that. There we are. There's an agent sticker. I'm just collecting those Ultra Agents so I can do my Ultra Agents build when I finally get around to that as well. That's from 70162, Inferno Inception, just with their logo on this sort of gunmetal type coloured piece. Flat silver, I suppose it's called, or maybe it's the other one. I can never tell the difference between them, to be honest. Here's another shield. I thought if I was getting that one with Godzilla on that I've lost, there we go, then wherever I use it, I might use the old school Islander shield, which was, well, part of all the sort of old pirate sets, I suppose, back in the day. And that just looks absolutely great, doesn't it? And it's really good condition. I mean, these aren't so rare in bad condition, but they are rare in that good condition, I must say. So that's really nice. So that was in a few sets, like 6246 Crocodile Cage from 1994. Yeah, very nice. So I look forward to using both of those very much, actually. Maybe some sort of tiki bar or something like that. Another interesting part is this. Which way up should it be? I think it's this way up. Yep, that's right. This is a painting on an easel. And it looks like it's a bird in a tree with a frog in a pond. Done in a kind of a bit of an abstract way. That was part of 41095. Emma's house, and you can see it on the easel out the front there. Yeah, so I got that because it was cheap and I thought I'd have a look at it. One more shield, probably not to go in the same place as the other ones. This is from the Egyptian Warrior, Series 13, and it's kind of that way up. You'd sort of think it might be that way up, but it's actually in this case that way up. And I don't want to use that as a shield, but I thought it was kind of like a logo, maybe for over a doorway or something like that. Kind of like for a secret society. Maybe one where you have to do some funny handshake with your, hand under your leg or something like that. I don't know, with the pyramids on. What they call masons or something like that. Freemasons. But yeah, I just thought it looked like that. So maybe if there's some sort of discreet door on the side of a building, I could just have that above it and it'd look very mysterious. That was my idea for that. And I think, oh no, here we go. There's a bit more. These are the legs that I've had before, but I'd need another set for the Pirate Cook that comes with 70413, the Brick Bounty set. And he's a wonderful character that I really like, and he's somebody else who cooks with rats, so he'll fit right in Brick Nottingham. So I've already got his torso and head, so I've got his legs. He's another really rare one, so I think I just need his sort of bandana type head, but quite frankly I could give him hair, couldn't I? Speaking of hair, there's an Islander hair as well, which is kind of a bit of a bowl cut. It looks like that, which is very fun. That's been on loads of Islanders, but also the Island Warrior from Series 11 behind that mask, of course. So then we've got loads of heads, and that one has got the sort of shiny gum shield of the Series 5 Boxer, and the bashed up face for the other side that I really like. And let's make a quick tower out of all the other ones. And I think that might be everything in this order, to be honest. Yeah, I'm still buying loads of heads, because the right expression just makes the scene, doesn't it? Very important indeed. So, the bottom one there is from the Series 13 Galaxy Trooper. Pretty ordinary, huh? But then you look at the other side and you'll see that it's very interesting indeed. Then we've got a worried face that's usually from Ninjago, I think. A grey bearded face that's been absolutely everything from a taxi driver to a chef to a pirate to a construction worker, etc., etc. One that's a bit more recent for City and Castle, I think. That one is from the Old Town kind of racer sets or Coast Guards. That is the Arctic Captain I was thinking of, that being. Very nice one there. And then these two are a construction worker usually, I think. Yeah, but an unshaded face could be really anything. And I don't have to use them in those things. That's just where they usually have been used in official sets. So, wow, an absolute mountain of interesting parts to play around with. But most importantly, I've got a couple of aliens. The piece that goes on the front of my Arctic rover. Loads of glow-in-the-dark pieces. This fantastic... I think this might be my favourite part, actually. It's kind of better than I thought, this barnacle thing. I mean... my creativity really can, be used to its full to create this. I mean, you just got to think, which way would it look best up and what should it have hanging out of it or attached to it? I don't know. So that's really interesting. Those enable a whole build to be done for trains. We've got lots of bulldozer pieces. And then most importantly, actually, no, I take it all back. The most important is the fort pieces, both these two and this one. Because that means we can do a whole section of the city that is so long overdue. And I even did a vote on it a while back. Yeah, which bit should I do next? And people said, yeah, do the cargo area. And I thought, I can't. Oh, well, I can now, I think. I'm just going to have to double check after this video. Right, but yeah, fantastic haul. 2 absolutely awesome packages. Good. Well, I must say the best type of haul is one where you're absolutely itching to get your hands on all of the parts that you've just received, either to build things that you've kind of got good plans for, or ones where you just really want to play around with it and see what you can come up with. And this haul is certainly one of those. So I'm very happy indeed. And if you've got any ideas that I've missed out, then maybe you should share them in the comments section below. But as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And if you want to send something to a future brick haul on this channel, then you can to the usual address. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, well, there's so much we could get going with. We could place the supermarket. We could potentially get on with a fairground if I've got enough time. We could also make a start on this whole cliffs area with the Fortlet and the Coast Guard station and all the rest of it. That would be good to get going on. And then there's all sorts of other train builds and all stuff like that. So you'll have to let me know what you prefer in the comments section below. But until all of that, it only leaves me to say, see you!